What's going on, guys? So in today's video we're finally going to be doing an in-depth look at the Gladiator Xcomps. I wanted to put a decent amount of miles on the tires before I came in here and gave you my opinion on them. I've seen a lot of comments, I've seen a lot of DMs. I don't always get to respond because I do have a bunch of them, but I have seen them and I know y'all wanted to get my opinion on what they're like before y'all buy them, or you know, whatever the case. But I know a lot of y'all are kind of right there on the edge. You really like the way they look. They have amazing sizes for different wheel options, but there is also a lot of horror stories out there about them coming out around, riding like garbage, falling apart, all those different things. So you're probably a little bit skeptical, and so here you are wanting to know. So I've got about 2,500 miles on the tires so far, and I will say I have thoroughly enjoyed them, but they are big knobby mud tires. So I guess let's give a little breakdown of what the whole experience has been like so far, so that you'll kind of have a good impression before you go buy them. So quickly before we get started, for anyone new, these are 35 1250 24. They're on a 24x10 wheel. The tires measure out to be about 34 inches tall. So for someone like myself that's putting a pretty large setup on a level truck, 3-inch leveling kit up front, if this was a true 35, it would be pretty hard for me to navigate around. So in my case, it's actually good that the tires run a little bit small, but it is something worth noting, because if you're running this on a lifted truck, they might look a little bit small because they are 34s, not a true 35. I think this is the most aggressive option that there is. They got the big lugs, you know, they got the cutouts. They look freaking insane. It's gonna be hard to show y'all because the tires are so filthy, and I'm assuming it's from rubbing. I don't really know. Maybe my alignment's a little janky and I need to address that, but right here on the edge, and this is the only tire that's doing it, there's a little bit of this, looks like it's been rubbing and it's peeled up a little bit of rubber. It's on all the lugs, but if you peel it off, it doesn't come back. Like, there's a couple of these that had it peel, like right here, it was peeling. I peeled it off and it's smooth, and it's not, I don't know if that's some kind of excess, or maybe this is an issue that's developing. I don't know. I'll obviously update y'all as I go. Comment down below and let me know if I should be more concerned. So thankfully I did not have any come out of round. I know some people have that complaint and that problem where they'll get these and they'll be out of round and they won't balance, and your truck will literally shake like it's fixing to fall apart on a brand new wheel and tire. And that's really unfortunate. I'm glad, fortunately, I didn't have that problem. Mine are all, I would say, balanced properly and everything. So I'm assuming this is as good as it gets as far as having a big wheel and Xcomps. So take that into consideration. You might get unlucky and you might have more problems than me, but at the same time, I think this is going to be like the general, your average, this is how Xcomps are going to react to everything. So as we creep down, you'll be able to, all right, did y'all hear all that like vibrating? They really do at like that under 10 mile an hour thing. They really cause a lot of, I guess, vibrations. I mean, as we creep forward here, you can, I mean, I'm wiggling all over the place. It's weird, you can really see the back of the truck wiggling, but as soon as you get above that like 5 to 10 mile an hour, they instantly smooth out. So typically with mud tires, the lower the tread gets, the louder the tires are. But I'll have to say that these are probably about as loud as the Aturos are right off the gate. Like, my Aturos are under 50%. They're probably like 30 to 40%. And these straight brand new are every bit as loud as those are currently. If you're going into this buying an aggressive mud tire, you're gonna know it's gonna be pretty loud. But I will say at this like 40 to 50, they're pretty loud. We'll slow down to 40. Right there, 45 miles an hour, they got that loud hum to them. Another thing is the 35s, technically 34s on a 24, you don't have a lot of rubber, but they absorb impact just fine. I don't think they're any more harsh than the Aturos that were 33s on 22s, which is similar, but they're even similar to stock. I mean, the stock tires, I don't know. There's a whole lot of myth to that thing. Unless you're running like real rubber band tires, they all pretty much absorb impacts pretty well. All right, we're gonna go ahead and hop on the interstate and show y'all exactly what these things are like, because some people I've seen comments saying good luck on the interstate, you're gonna like get thrown out of your truck or whatever, but I'll go right off the bat and say the faster you go with these things, the smoother they are. much, you know, input the tires give to the steering wheel. Oh, that's some rock chips. So these things do, I don't know if I touched on it previous part of this video, these things do sling rocks badly. Like, I thought the Enturos were bad, and they slung more rocks, but the rocks that get stuck in these, like, they're in there until you're going real fast, and then they just come flying out. So as you can see, the truck rides fairly smooth going down the interstate. It's definitely not like buttery, no vibration, no movement at all. It's not as smooth as the Enturos, I will say that. But this truck, these tires have such large lugs, you really, I guess, couldn't really expect it to ride as good as a tire that has much closer lugs. So overall, interstate, would it get annoying on long trips? Possibly yes, but for like, you know, 30-minute or under interstate runs, it's really not bad at all. It's honestly pretty smooth, and like I said, the tires are not overly loud when you're going real fast, which is weird. I'm not talking to y'all in any raised tone or anything like that. We're going about 66 right now, and it's real smooth. About 66, 65 range is the smoothest, which is what we're cruising at right here. A little bit over that, it gets a little bit of that vibration, and then we've obviously talked about the other. So you heard it, when it gets down to like going under 50, the tire noise really cranks up. So I'd say that's a passing grade for going down the interstate. It's not buttery smooth, but at the same time, it's not like shaking all over the place trying to fling you out the window or something. So it's definitely something, if you had to do a lot of interstate driving, you could definitely still do it. So here's your wet weather update on the Xcomps. Overall, I think they do fairly well. Wet roads or rainy, you know, like this, they do pretty fine. Traction's not a problem. But whenever there is some standing water, they do tend to try to hydroplane with you. Most tires do, but you know, usually the bigger tread tires kind of cut through them. At least from my experience, like mud graps and stuff, usually they just cut through it. But with these, they'll try to hydroplane on you. I just wanted to come on here and really clear up how they feel. So you're really gonna feel these tires at all speeds. Obviously, like I said, the very low speed is when you really can feel them kind of rolling over the tread and stuff, and it's not that big a deal. It's kind of cool feeling. It goes away as soon as you go over like that 10 miles per hour, and then it's something that you don't notice. But whenever you're driving, like right now, we're running about 50 miles an hour. I don't know if y'all can see my hand. There is some input back through the steering wheel. The truck, you can feel the tires, okay? So it's not, I'm not even gonna try to cover it up or anything. You can feel these tires at every speed. Certain speeds are worse than others. If you're going down the interstate running like 75, there is a kind of a slight shake to it. At that like sweet 65 to 70, it's super smooth, and you really, I mean, it's really nice. It's just these tires, man. It's really not something to overthink. If you're wanting a real nice, smooth tire, these aren't the ones for you. Is it so bad that I don't enjoy driving it? Absolutely not. Certain mornings when I guess I'm feeling a little more sensitive than the afternoon, I feel like the truck really doesn't drive that great. Like, it feels kind of rough. But then when I drive it home, it feels fine. So I don't know, I've got my tires at 37 PSI cold. Right now we're cruising they're at 39. Let me know if that's too much, too little. I don't really know. I usually run my other tires a little bit lower than that, but that just seems to be the good spot that I felt they felt the best at. So I don't really know, but to sum it up, you're gonna feel them. That's just how it is. All right, guys, well, that's about gonna do it for this tire review. Hopefully you did enjoy, and hopefully I was able to answer all of your questions. I know there's two things I can't really speak on. That's gonna be how long these things last, because this is my first set. I've got about 2,500 miles on them. They do show some signs of wear, but nothing too bad, I don't think. The other thing is their off-road capability, because as you can tell, I'm not really into off-roading that much. It's just, you know, hey, it's a nice truck. Don't want to do it in this truck, so it's my choice. So can't really speak on those two things, but overall, for a mid-range price-wise, super aggressive mud tire that has a ton of really great size options, I think they're a really good option. I mean, throughout all speeds, you're going to feel the tires. You're going to hear the tires. It's just part of it. They're big, spaced out lugs. I mean, you could only ask so much.
As far as like me getting a bad tire, thankfully that didn't happen. I know a lot of people apparently do, so your experience can be totally worse than mine. But this is my 2,500 mile update. Been a couple months. I have enjoyed them, and yeah, so I know a lot of y'all were curious what are my thoughts on them so far. I mean, they're not perfect, but I have really enjoyed them. I think they look amazing. They're the most aggressive looking tire for a 24 in my opinion. So with that being said, hopefully you did enjoy. I'll see you on the next one.